Yeah.
Daryl! You better move. You're gonna go next.
They changed. We're environmental protesters. Please.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Please.
Oh, wow. Who knew? Actions still have some consequences. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Gradowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy and bewildering news to get into today. As, of course, domestically, things aren't really that good as our political system is currently up in flames, as I, in this video, want to specifically talk about the larger possibility of Biden and Trump not running for the 2024 U.S. presidency. What's going on there? What's happening? What's the latest news with these two frontrunners right now? As I think there's a potential for them to not be even running. Well, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played for you in the beginning of this broadcast is from Burning Man, where some crazy deranged activists decided to stop traffic during the entrance of Burning Man, which is extremely dangerous, doing so on tribal land, being met by park rangers that stopped these lunatics from inconveniencing and causing more harm to, of course, all the people trying to go to the burn. As a burner myself, getting into Burning Man is a huge ordeal. It usually sometimes could even take days, as of course there was massive delays because of Hurricane Hillary, and cars, trucks, and RVs are literally there for days, sometimes trying to get in, which of course creates a lot of problems. Those problems exacerbated by individuals who are now somehow trying to stop capitalism and the use of oil, which Burning Man is dependent on to even operate and to be able to run their festival successfully, as these activists created a huge traffic jam, all for their selfish actions, grandstanding in their fedora hats and designer clothes as they were taking selfies of themselves, allegedly making the weather gooder. This as in related narcissist inconveniencing you news. We, of course, have the New York City Police Department that now is putting out messaging telling people to stay 6 feet apart in New York City. This as a lot of people fear the inevitable future lockdowns and restrictions that many bureaucrats are foreshadowing that will be coming back very conveniently right before the 2024 presidential elections. The same kind of lockdowns that we had just a few years ago, where, of course, the elites, the multinational corporations just didn't abide by, as they were telling you how to live your life, shutting down your churches, shutting down your businesses, and absolutely inconveniencing you and any form of life that wasn't tied into their globalist cabal, as their businesses were allowed to be open. They were able to go to all the fanciest restaurants, and while you weren't allowed to go to church, they were allowed to go to their ultra-secretive satanic worship club, where they had mock child sacrifices and worshipped satanic entities like Molech. You going to church? No. No way, buddy. That's bad. You will hurt people. Worshipping the devil with some of the most powerful people in the world flying in on private jets that are lecturing you about the green gases as they ship in male workers of the night, get naked, dress in robes, and literally have mock child sacrifices, while also, according to the latest information, underpaying and overworking the poor employees there that have to deal with the, quote, frat house environment that they were told to endure. As today, we are finding out that there are a number of employees right now who are suing the century-and-a-half-old Secretives Men Social Club, where some of the most powerful people in the world, we're talking about all the presidents here, the Bushes, Mr. Gates, late-night show TV hosts, all the celebritards, some of the wealthiest and most powerful people in the world, quote, get blackout drunk and urinate publicly. Bill Clinton, when asked about this from We Are Change Minnesota, talked about how this was a place where Republicans get naked and walk around in the woods, and we're finding out more about this secretive confab, predominantly for the workers there, that are now suing the club for overworking them, paying them under the table, and of course, not surprisingly, skirting a lot of the rules and regulations that everyone else is forced to follow. And that's why we can't have nice things, but that's why I also created LukeUnfiltered.com, our own members area where we get to say and do whatever we want. As of course, we have a plethora of amazing offers of value to you on this secret, not so secret society that of course all coalesces online, where we talk to each other and we release a brand new spanking video only available for members almost every single day. Today's video is going to be my walk and talk in Miami, Florida, where for 30 minutes I talked about the big food industry and what to look out for. That walk and talk video is available only for members right now on LukeUnfiltered.com. It's definitely worth a watch, as of course the scenery there was pretty beautiful and the commentary was right on the money. That 30-minute walk and talk video only available right now for members of LukeUnfiltered.com, along of course with a forum, 3 masterclasses, members-only store, contest, giveaways, and soon to be free tickets to some of the members to the upcoming big Timcast IRL event that we're going to be doing here in Miami, Florida on October 6th with a lot of real incredible individuals like Trump Jr., Matt Gaetz, and of course Patrick Bat David, plus a lot more of other secretive guests. To get access to that event, go to timcast.com, but more importantly, members of LukeUnfiltered.com will get a large number of free tickets to this event. To get access to that, plus a lot more, sign up right now to LukeUnfiltered.com. It's quick, it's easy. You just click right here. First, you got to click the link in the description. Click the link down in the description, get here, click join here, and just put in your information. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple. You get an email right away with your login, with your password, and then you'll get nearly 10 years of secretive behind-the-scenes videos that no one else gets except for members of LukeUnfiltered.com that are centered specifically about helping you make the right decisions for yourself as an individual. As of course, there's a lot of different psyopses, there's a lot of different lies, there's a lot of different malarkey and bullcrap out there that prioritizes and profits off of your ignorance. We make sure that you get the best information on LukeUnfiltered.com to not be a victim of all the previous, current, and upcoming psyops that are coming our way. As of course, our world is very unstable, more unstable, especially with the larger proxy war that's happening right now between the East and the West inside of Ukraine, where now allegedly, to some sources, Russia is sending some of their best fighters to the front lines of, as Ukraine is still continuing their counteroffensive, which has been extremely underwhelming from the promises that were delivered to us from the corporate media that were telling us that this was going to finally end this conflict here. And you've been getting a different message here on LukeUnfiltered.com, as we've been telling you this war is not meant to be won. It is meant to be prolonged and could be going on for nearly 10 years from now. That still is a big possibility here, as of course, we have also just gotten the confirmation, according to the Russian government, that it was Yevgeny Prigozhin that did pass away in the plane crash that happened in Russia that took out the former Wagner chief, the second in command of Wagner as well, creating a very uncertain situation for a larger mercenary group that now has been the target of allegedly the Russian government, creating more of a chaotic, unpredictable future for Eurasia that clearly is very unstable and could make a turn for the worst at any moment and time, which I would say is kind of very similar to the current U.S. political system right now, as of course, the main chief political opposition party leader is being arrested a number of times. This, as Donald Trump has now been indicted 4 times, is facing nearly 700 years in jail for questioning an election, some paperwork mishaps, and other charges that kind of make you kind of scratch your head and ask you, what in the hell's going on here? This, as we're finding out that the charges coming from Washington, D.C. will be tried on March 4th, 2024, just one day before Super Tuesday, as the judge in that case is promising that Donald Trump will stand trial before the 2024 presidential elections. This, as of course, Donald Trump is trying to postpone these charges against him and these trials all the way till 2026, as it is expected that many of the lawyers here will be filing a lot of motions trying to extend this date. Now, will they be successful? I think these trials, these charges are all very political and will, of course, be done in a way to hurt the former president of the United States as much as they can. This as Mark Meadows just arrived in Georgia, as Trump and 18 co-defendants will be arraigned in Georgia on September 6th, as former Epstein pal Alan Dershowitz is now claiming that Donald Trump's criminal trial will actually not begin before the 2024 presidential elections, as of course now many of these cases are entering into discovery, where they will be looking into almost every single message, every single communication, every single private conversation and detail of Donald Trump's life for these particular cases that now will be available probably for the general public, with leaks and releases that will, of course, be highly scrutinizing every single move that the former president of the United States made. Now, will Joe Biden have his life looked into and investigated like the former president of the United States? Well, actually, maybe. As of course, there's more and more information coming out about Joe Biden and the clear corrupted actions that he took as vice president of the United States, as a senator, as a politician, as a career bureaucrat that clearly has abused his position of power in order to enrich himself to grand fortunes that are being exposed almost every single day, specifically with all the latest revelations coming surrounding Hunter Biden, with even the former Ukrainian chief prosecutor, Viktor Shogun, coming out recently and talking about how clearly Hunter Biden was recruited by the Ukrainian natural gas company Burisma in order to, quote, provide protection for the company, which worked very well, as of course then Vice President of the United States Joe Biden fired this chief prosecutor who was investigating Burisma, as Viktor Shogun came out and said that the company absolutely engaged in illegal activities, paid Hunter Biden very lucratively, as of course he was also sharing a bank account with his father, Joe Biden, as Viktor Shogun even talks about how he had many attempts on his life, including allegedly 2 attempts to poison him and to get rid of his life. Now, how are we finding all about this right before the 2024 presidential elections, as there's new poll numbers, even according to the Associated Press, that is describing Joe Biden as, quote, slow and confused by the majority of Americans? This, as the latest poll numbers, according to the Associated Press, are showing that Joe Biden is, quote, too old to run again for the presidency, with 77% of participants thinking that, including 69% of Democrats, as it's becoming clearer by the day that this guy isn't just corrupted, but he is absolutely incompetent and probably depends absolutely not having his wits about him, as of course the man is 80 years old. The man could barely walk, he could barely talk, he's slurring his words, he's passing out, sleeping any chance he gets, as there's multiple stories of him defecating himself during public visits and clearly not being of sound mind. Now, how is this man going to be the lead frontrunner for the 2024 presidential election? How is this going to be a reality? Well, this is what I want to question in this particular video, as of course, there's been a lot of information that directly points the finger at him doing some real bad illegal things. This, as of course, Donald Trump isn't too far behind when it comes to how old he is, with many people questioning his health as well, which kind of makes you wonder, will there be an attempt to take down Joe Biden as a kind of middle-of-the-road peace deal made by the establishment that first will essentially take down Joe Biden, prevent him from running for the presidency of the United States by his own political party, that then will look more justified when they take down Donald Trump and prevent him from running for the presidency in 2024. Could there be a larger deal being made like this to strategically, in a marketing PR sense of way, show some kind of, quote, fairness and unbiasedness. And I think, strategically thinking, if you are the establishment, if you're truly the ones calling the shots here, as of course Joe Biden here is clearly just a flesh suit. Clearly he's not calling the shots here. Someone else above him is. If you're in charge of the puppet strings of Joe Biden, who again, more and more doesn't react to your wishes, is becoming less and less popular, what better way than swap out the puppet? And in doing so, when they do get rid of Joe Biden, creating also an easier situation for them to say, well, we're getting rid of all corruption. We got rid of Joe Biden. Now we are more justified to get rid of Donald Trump. And I think looking at the way that this presidential election is shaping up, I think that is more of a probability than what a lot of other people expect it to be. As of course, Donald Trump has not been going to the presidential debates, which have reacted to some negative polling. He will be going through Discovery, where every detail of his life will probably be made public. He is still the lead frontrunner here, but clearly someone that the establishment does not want to become the president of the United States. And sometimes in a game of chess, you do have to get rid of some pawns in order to position yourself in a better way to take down some of the bigger chess pieces on the opposite board. Will that be the larger move being made here? Well, the more I kind of think about it, I think the more of it as a reality. Now, of course, we are clearly speculating here. We do not have any empirical evidence suggesting that any of this will actually happen. But with Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis planning their debate on Fox News, with the White House being angry at Gavin Newsom for doing this debate, I think the closer we move to this insane 2024 presidential election, the more shakeups, the more moves that will be being made here. This, as our political discourse is becoming more and more unhinged and violent, as the pendulum swing is moving back and forth very violently, and with some violence already returning to the streets of New York City during protests where leftists and people from the right wing already had clashes. I think with Trump and Biden representing such polarizing figures, I think the current trajectory that we are on is one that is specifically leading us to chaos. Now, will the establishment take down Biden in order to take down Trump, in order to prevent a larger amount of chaos from ensuing in our political societal system? That's one probability. And a second probability is that the system and establishment thrives off of chaos and might be doing deliberate actions in order to try to create as much of it as they can themselves. Which one of those two options do you think is probable here? Do you see an ousting of Biden and Trump before this presidential election? Or do you see the establishment doubling down on them, trying to create more chaos, more unrest, more of Americans fighting each other, which currently we are on this horrible trajectory, which, again, should be prevented at all costs, but won't because of all the fuel being added to this larger fire? Which one of these options do you think is true? Number one, they're going to oust them. Number two, no, they want chaos, and they're going to get some chaos. Let me know down in the comment section below, as of course I'm curious what you guys think will be happening from here, as the road here, the paths here are absolutely stupid and nonsensical, but that's just my opinion. If you agree with me, share this video with your friends and family members. One more video coming your way right now on lukeunfiltered.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.